Hello everyone. So till now we have discussed the meaning of research. Even we have discussed what are the two approaches available for the research, that is the qualitative approach and quantitative approach. We have discussed the part that is related to the type of the research. We have classified the research depending upon the methods and upon the intentions. Now today we will start with the first part, that is related to selecting the problem. It is the first step for the research in which we select the problem, that means the part what we want to do or what we want to investigate under our research work. So this particular part needs to be carefully chosen, as well as there are various factors that should be considered while selecting the problem and while framing the title of that problem. So now in this particular lecture, one by one we will discuss all these aspects related to selection of the research problem. So we will start with the PowerPoint presentation, and again we will concentrate on each and every parameter related to the selection of the problem statement. Okay, so moving ahead, we will consider the part that is related to finding out the research problem, then to understand how to choose the research problem, learn how to formulate a problem, to understand the internal criteria as well as to understand the external criteria, to learn step-by-step process of formulation of research problem, and to know what is good research problem. So first of all, we should understand what do you mean by problem. Research begins when the researcher experiences difficulty or curiosity in sake of interest or knowledge. This selection of the topic of the research as a result of curiosity is known as research problem. To be more simplified, when we want to do the research work and we are having curiosity for something, that how it happened and why it happened, and we try to solve it, we try to find out the reason for it, that process of finding out the reason for something happening or for the part of your curiosity satisfaction is known as research work. Now, how can you identify a research problem? It can be difficulty for a person or a group. There may be some task or something which is happening and it is not getting handled by a person or a group. It should have alternative path to achieve them. There should not be only one path to achieve, but there should be some more possible ways to achieve that particular question. Each such path has its own clear merits and demerits. Whenever you desire to do something, to find out some facts, whenever you want to do the research for some topic, you need to find out alternative paths that are available to reach up to that topic. So each of these paths has its own merits and demerits that one should know very clearly. There should be a set of variables and the constant in defined domain. It means that if you want to do a particular research work, you should be aware of the things you want to find out. Now, the things which does not change in your research work can be termed as constant, whereas the things which will change or vary will be termed as variables. As well as you should know for what specific conditions you want to do, for what group of people you want to do, for what experimental setup you want to do, that is called as domain. Now, how to choose a research problem? It is very interesting. When you have a curiosity for something, how you should choose it? We can get idea by the session of brainstorming. When the intellectuals sit together, when the people sit together, they discuss about the various issues, and while discussing, we come across some particular things which require special attention to be solved. Similarly, one should choose depending upon the resource availability. Even though we may have very good aims for finding out something, but if resources are not there, you cannot carry on your project work, and thus you should check your resource availability. You should be aware of the global conditions. What is the global market need? What is the global problem faced as if now? Intuitions, individual's capacity, academic experiences. It means that we should be aware of our own capacity of doing the work. If we are not good in particular sector, we should concentrate on the path in which we are more comfortable to carry on. Similarly, when someone is having an experience of 5 to 10 years, maybe of some more period, on this period of experience, the people faces various problems. And then this part of curiosity come, that how can I solve that particular problem so that it should not come or become hurdle for others. Working environment, review of literatures. Majority of the times when you go through the study and the work done by other people, you come across many things which are unrevealed, which remain unsolved, even some part of future scope. So learning from others' work is also a part of research problem selection. Feasibility thought. Even if you consider some particular work to do under research, you should check for the feasibility. Either it is possible or not, depending upon various factors. Exposure to the practical world. It means that research problem should be such that it should be helpful for practical applicable in the world, and your research problem should be observational based, which means that whatever research you are doing, you need to convert it into writing form or the data processing form so that others can understand and take out the learning from it. Now, how to formulate the problem? Once you select your problem, then you should think about how to formulate the problem. There are two criteria. First is internal criteria and second is called as external criteria. We will move ahead and check the internal criteria. Researcher's interest. While selecting the various alternative issues, you have written various tasks that you want to do under your research work. Now, this is the time to choose wisely what is your part of interest and you really want to do it. That is called as researcher's interest. Then check your own efficiency, what you can do and what you cannot. That is called as researcher's competency. And then you should even check what are the resources available related to the problem that you have selected to solve. Majority of the times, it may happen that you need to drop the particular topic because of the resource constraint. So initially, you need to check and try to make available all that resources. What can be the external criteria? External criteria can be listed up. External, we say external because these are not directly acting to choose the problems, but definitely creates an impact while selecting the problem, such as problem in reality researchable. Is this problem particularly practically applicable for the world and is it beneficiary for the others or not? Urge for problem, is it the global need? Is it innovative and useful? Is it possible to do it? It means that is it feasible to carry on? Supporting resource availability is present or not? Resources we have already considered into internal criteria. Apart from resources, these are the supporting resources which should be available. So these are also called as the external criteria. When you select one of the problem out of the listed problems for your research work, check these internal and external criteria. Now, how to formulate the research process? It should consist of the title. Now, this is very specifically clear that your title should focus your question. It should convey intention, it should convey your core work, it should focus purely on what you want to do. Say for example, we have taken two titles, Real Estate and Recession, and second is Problems of the real estate market. Now, from the title, real estate and recession, what researcher want to convey? Either he want to convey about the recession, either he want to convey about the real estate, or he want to convey the impact of recession or real estate. It is not clear. Second title is problems of the real estate market. It clearly indicates that this research work will deal with various problems that are related to real estate market. So it means you should frame your title which should clearly convey your focus and intentions. Now, once you finalize your title, second step is developing conceptual model. List up elements, various components, interrelationship between all these activities and the task, and frame it into a structure. That means what you want to do, how you will do. Clearly state scope of finding. What you want to do, you should know it very specifically. List out the variables that will be part of your research, control environment, your scope of work. You should go through the deep literature reviewing process. It is very, very necessary for a researcher to go through the various studies that have been done earlier by the other researchers, peoples, or a group of people, any organization, and so on. It gives you clue that where the people are lacking, which research part is still unexplored, and where we can focus more. Define the objective. Once you set out your title, you set out the various things that will be coming under it, then the part is you should think how you will achieve it. When you think with this question that how you will achieve it, you set out small steps. All these steps are called as objectives. So you should now write up your objectives. Sort out questions to be answered through the studies. Check out objective set and outcomes expected. It means that you have decided for a particular research work, various objectives, and even you need to write down from these objectives what outcomes you will be getting. Investigate approach for objectives. How you will achieve that objective, even you need to do that work also. So this is called as problem formulation process. It is consisting of 3 phases: time, developing conceptual model, and defining the objective. How to develop good research problem? Now the question is, once you have selected, how you will check either your problem, either your work you are doing under research is good or not. Some of the important point is that verifiable evidence, which means that it should be based on the facts. Observation can be seen and checked by anyone. Accuracy, it should describe the reality. It should not be imaginary part. Precision, giving exact number or measurement. It should be very accurate work. It should be very precise work. It should be measurable. Systematic, so that one can understand the step-by-step process that you have done, right from collecting the data, arranging them systematically, interpreting the data, and then presenting your remark. Objectives. Objectives should be free from biases and individual's interest. It means that whenever you want to do your research work, it should not be based on your own interest, personal interest. Say if you want to do the research on some leader, and if you are not attached or attracted towards that personality, it does not mean that you will show your research work by highlighting the negativity of that person. Your research work should be purely based on the facts and figures and the happenings. That is called as it should be free from individual's interest. It should be recordable. Of course, whenever you do the work, many of the time you lack to observe the other factors, and thus it should be recordable so that we can review our work done. It should be under the control conditions. You should know the control conditions. After going through your title of your research work, it should be very clear that what are the control conditions, what is the scope of work. You should be clearly knowing about your variables, constant, and your scope of work. So if all these things are possible in your research work, yes, you have selected the right problem to carry out your research. So today we will stop over here. So we have discussed how to frame the research title and the various aspects related to it. Okay, thank you.